Aam Aadmi Party-led Bhagwant Mann government is ordering mass transfers in the police department. Is it going to help or is going to eradicate the Punjab's drug problem? To know more, we have with us former DGP jails, Shashi Kant. Sir, you served as DGP jails and you know how this nexus works. So, will it help the people of Punjab to get rid of the drugs if mass transfers are ordered within the police department alone?
Just no way. It's just not possible. Because you talk of drugs, they are available absolutely openly and in abundance in the open society. And for that matter, certainly they are available within the prison houses also. Now, whatever the government has decided that they want to transfer 10,000 persons all in one go, I think that's a policy which is totally wrong, which is going to, and I'm afraid that it can boomerang on the government. Yes, as a policy, government could have decided that in all departments, why only single out the police department? The transfer policy will be that nobody is permitted to stay at one place for more than 3 years. But again, why single out police? If I'm not wrong, and I feel that this kind of murmurs are already on, that police has been singled out, and it can lead to certain serious situation or development also. And talking about the drugs and all those things, look, drug nexus is this weird kind of thing. It's certainly is all well connected. One step leads to other and third and fourth. At the top level, there are persons who invest in drugs, who spend their money in procuring drugs, whether they are pharmaceutical drugs or opioids or whatever it is. Then they have their network. They try to sell it. But their persons try to sell it in different districts. Then again, their chain is the chain basically. Yes, it's the fact that some of the police officers, besides certain officers of other departments also, they have come to notice for protecting these drug smugglers. But again, you can't say that the entire force, Punjab police force, so for that matter, the entire Punjab administration is involved, the entire political scenario, political leaders of Punjab involved. It's the wrong thing. I won't say that. But yes, certain persons are involved. They should have been singled out and the action should have been taken strictly. Why transfer in that case? If it is there's a proof that some person is indulging in drug smuggling, well, we have Article 311. Use it. Kick him out of the service. So I think this is a step which has been taken in haste and probably is on account of the recent debacle of the party in the elections, and now that another by-election is down the corner in Jalandhar. So I think it is all that kind of exercise. But I fear, keeping my fingers crossed, that it might, God forbid, boomerang on the government.
So you're telling us that some of the black sheep may exist within the police force. Do you think many of the police officials are drug addicts themselves, and during your tenure, some drug de-addiction programs were also started for the cops? So also there is a need to de-addict them as well?
Yes. If you talk of drugs, look, in Punjab, we're talking in the context of Punjab. Opium has been there for ages. What's opium? Opium is also a drug. Lots of persons, whether they belong to the civic society or they belong to one government department or the other, they are all addicted to opium. So yes, opium, one thing. And second thing comes up, opioids. And I think a kind of younger generation is certainly involved in using opioids, and particularly heroin, all those things. And again, if you talk of the creamy layer, it's a fact, and that they are some of them are using cocaine. You'll recall that there was the cocaine haul was recovered in Ludhiana a couple of years back. So it's all there, and added to that, unfortunately, again, like I'll say that it come up very openly in the proceedings of the Punjab and Haryana High Court when one of the drug controllers admitted that the government policy regarding the regulation of these pharmaceuticals is also totally lopsided. They are sent from one place and they vanish and all sorts of things. And you know that the police force and certain central agencies had recovered lots of ephedrine and all those things in some neighboring areas also. And lots of pharmaceutical drugs, they were a few years back recovered in Patiala. And they had some links at certain places in Haryana. So again, it's a serious situation. Yes, lots of persons belonging to various departments, as also politicians, yes, they are using opium or other opioids or other synthetic drugs, pharmaceuticals, etc. is a fact. And again feel that, that when I had taken up this cause, I had said that yes, certain persons are involved in this drug smuggling and loss of records was created. Government has full-fledged intelligence agency. What stops them from identifying such persons and taking most stringent action against them? Why go in for this kind of lopsided general policy, and that too in one go, that everybody more than 3 years, etc., is transferred out? And why only that lower rank? Why not other ranks? So there has to be some justification in government policies, and it appears that it was a knee-jerk kind of action which was taken by Bhagwant Mann. Thank you.
So you exposed the politico drug smuggler nexus when you were DGP jails. So how big is this business, as drugs are still reaching in the jails and many cops were involved in this action, as you also particularly pointed out, that why only the normal cops are being transferred? Why there is no policy for the staff which works in jails?
Well, you asked the question, you replied your question yourself. You stirred the hornet's nest. Yes. Now, what happens? Look, the entire scenario is sort of wretched, and it stinks. It's a can of worms. One example I'll give. It is not a very general kind of thing. I'm just saying it hypothetically. Every year we have elections. Every 5 years we have elections, and then we have local bodies and this and that. One election is always there, panchayat election or the other. Even in panchayat election, people who live in villages, they claim that they spent 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs, whatever the amount is on the elections. When it comes to the local bodies election or Vidhan Sabha or Lok Sabha, the amount is massive. My question always remains, I want to know how many politicos, right from the village to whatever level it can, had mortgaged their property, sold off their property, to spend that money in the elections, honest elections. And the rule is that, okay, you can, it's all donations. My question again is, will you give your white money, hard-earned money, for this kind of purpose? Will you give it in charity? It's a big question. And again, it appears that our legal system, our rules and regulations, they are sort of encouraging this kind of practice. The election rules which have been made, whether they're talking of bonds and this and that you're giving some kind of donation to somebody, whether it's a bribe or whatever it is. Hey, the rules are all lopsided. They're all haywire. As basically, I say that black money, tainted money, whether it's from drug mafia, whether it's from timber mafia, road mafia, book mafia, there's no dearth of mafias. So basically, the tainted money which is being utilized in elections, and yes, the most important contribution is from the drug lobby.
Earlier, there were allegations that drugs are reaching from the Pakistan side, and now drones are being used to smuggle the drugs. But the Chief Minister now accuses the Gujarat government, saying drugs are reaching Punjab via Gujarat. So what do you have to say, whether the drug smugglers have changed their methodology or their modus operandi? The so-called golden route has been replaced by this route now?
Look, certainly as we have talked about the golden route, that was through Punjab, that had turned into white route. And when heroin started coming here, so we said that the gold route, not golden, gold route, because earlier that was the route for the gold smuggling that was converted into a route for this drug smuggling. Yes. And if you look at how these drug lobbies and drug lords operate, it is not that they have decided one particular route that from that way only they are going. They had been coming in through drones, they had been coming manually, and you know that Ugre were on Punjab and J&K border, where water is not deep. They had been just walking through the water and bringing all these drugs in here in Punjab. It was coming through some Padamtal, through Himachal. Then another route had opened that was from Nepal. It was coming through some other places. And the latest being that, yes, drugs are coming in a big way through the ships and through boats also. That's the sea, etc., etc. Earlier, this thing was confined primarily to cocaine, which was being brought to Bombay on Goa through ships, yes. And now, they have been recoveries. You know, there was a abandoned boat, which was recovered somewhere on Kutch border. It had lots of heroin therein, and certain cases have come up from that place. And again, any government shouldn't forget that on this side we have the Golden Crescent, and on the other side we have the Golden Triangle. There's Burma, Laos, and all those things. Drugs have been coming from that route only. So instead of getting into and indulging in political mudslinging, they have to find out this thing that, well, these are the routes, and it can come through Nepal also, it can come through air also, it can be dropped from the air, it can come through ships, etc., etc. There's so many things. Why everybody is talking only about the triangle and ignoring the golden, there's a triangle. Everybody is talking about the crescent, but the triangle has just totally been ignored. No, there has to be comprehensive policy at the level of the government, not only the government of India, but in collaboration and association with various state governments, and there has to be comprehensive policy that these are the routes and they need to be plugged. Persons who are involved in drug smuggling, they have to be identified. You can't say, okay, all these 10,000 persons are into drug smuggling or the 15,000 persons are in drug smuggling. Identify them, take action against them. If they turn out to be government servant, $300 one is there, there has to be some rationale behind all these things. Thank you.
Senior IPS officer Shashi Kant was telling us that the action against the cops may boomerang. It can backfire as these police officers are being transferred in the name of their alleged relationship with the drug smugglers have been singled out and raised the questions why others are not being transferred and what is their fault. There could be some black sheep, but not all the police officials are wrong. The another question is, while no action is being taken, why there are no transfers in the jails, as alleged sale of drugs has been reported at various times in Punjab's jails. With camera person Aman Gupta, this is Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh.